Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you are new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds. If you'd like to join the family, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Also, click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate in on the discussion, you can join me most weekdays where I go live on YouTube around 4 p.m. Central Time. Or outside of YouTube, you could consider joining the Discord I've created. There is a link for that down in the description below. Also, down in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board. That is a great place for you guys to see the different meals and recipes that I've been enjoying as I've been working towards my goal. And today is day 958 of my challenge to lose 300 pounds. So far, through a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet, I have been able to lose over 255 pounds so far. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I love hearing those as well. If you are succeeding with your diet, share with everybody what you are doing to succeed. We'd love to hear it. If you're struggling with your diet, let us know what's causing your struggles. Maybe it's something we can help you out with. And at the end of the day, what are some things that you are doing or that you can do that will make staying on your diet easier than the alternative? I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the main video here. Hello. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. We got a big Father's Day weekend coming up, and the weather seems to be really wonderful right now. Hopefully it stays that way throughout the weekend. My thing is already giving me an alert that there's a problem, which means that it's on the wrong thing. So just give me 1 second to fix this, guys, and I'll be right back. All right, let's stop that. But yes, a few people checking in here. Cindy, Rebecca, Karen, Pretty Girl's mom, Jay. Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. Jay says, TGIF, thank God it's Friday. Yes, thank God it's Friday, getting ready for the weekend. I'm excited to try to get out and do some things. I need to get the kayak out and get the dog on it and do some training with her to see if we can't get her to be comfortable on that while we're riding on the water. So I'm going to do that this weekend. And then we have Father's Day. We're going to be getting together with the family. So that should be a great time as well. I will go ahead and go over food since yesterday. So last night, I would say, is kind of a milestone for me personally in my diet, in that I got home last night and Carrie was actually doing some things with a couple of our kids and picking up groceries while she was out. And I got home and I was hungry and I wanted to make some dinner, and I was looking around the house trying to find something to make for dinner. And some of the usual suspects that I would use, like potatoes, we didn't have any of in the house. And there wasn't any leftovers. And so I kind of searched through the refrigerator and through the pantry and ended up kind of formulating a plan for what we should do for dinner. And it's something that in the past, I would have never done this for dinner. I never would have recommended we do this for dinner. And I would not have even, I would have waited till Carrie got home. But based off of the ingredients that we had in our house, I figured that the best thing for us to have for dinner last night was a salad. It's something that, again, in the past, I never would have chosen to eat a salad. I've talked about it on stream throughout the past 960 days that I've been doing this. My relationship with salad has become much better. Yes. And Carrie says we tag team the meal last night. Yes. it was something where when you make a salad, there's a lot of things that have to be chopped up. And I knew Carrie was picking up some things. And so I figured I'd get a head start on dinner before she got home. So I got the spinach out. I got the red pepper out. I got the corn out. And we ended up tag teaming a wonderful salad last night. And there's all kinds of wonderful ingredients in here. Like I said, there's spinach and let's see, red peppers and corn. We had some brown rice left over that we put in there. And then we had a bunch of mushrooms that we cut up, and we kind of marinated the mushrooms the same way as you do with the polenta with the white beans and mushrooms. We just used onion powder, garlic powder, and a balsamic vinegar, and cooked that on the stove top to give the mushrooms some flavor. And then we had a mixed bag of like a broccoli slaw, which was really good. I had never had that before, and it gave it a great texture inside of the salad here. And I took another photo of the salad with everything mixed up. Let's see here. Jay says, throw some chickpeas on salad to help fill it up. You make hummus. Yeah, we did add some. And Carrie says here that we did add some brown rice to it to cause it to fill up a little bit. And it was awesome. But like I said, we didn't have much cooked up or ready to go. And so that was something we threw together. And like I said, for me, that's pretty big, because since we've started this, the first time Carrie said we were having salad for dinner, I probably audibly groaned at the idea of having salad for dinner. At the time, we were putting a mustard dressing on it that was wonderful and we really enjoyed. Now I'm to the point where I eat salads like this. I do not put any dressing on it. There was nothing on here other than kind of the flavoring from the mushroom that we put on there, you know, the kind of seasoning we put on the mushrooms, and just ate it as it was. And it was a wonderful salad, filled me up. I ate the whole thing. I don't think I could have eaten another bite. Let's see here. Pretty Girl's mom says, looking spiffy with that haircut. Yes, I did go and get my haircut today. I'm actually going to get some photos taken this weekend of my face. And so I thought I should probably get my haircut so I could get my photo done or have it look good. So then today for breakfast, we had a little bit of a snafu with the oatmeal, which is fine, but I did just have broccoli for breakfast today. And then for lunch, I had a big bowl of broccoli and potato. I know that looks so appetizing, just all mashed up in a bowl like that. But that is another huge bowl of potatoes and broccoli that I had for lunch today. So that was food since yesterday. Jay here says, you took your bottle of honey mustard back. It's food addiction. We're gonna all be on toast. I think it was gonna be all gone on toast and in your stomach lickety split. The honey mustard, yeah, the mustard we had, we would sweeten it with like dates or like a maple syrup, and when we first started, it was great. We used that on salads, we used that on potatoes, and just kind of over time we've just phased that out. But yeah, Carrie says that was a good choice to take the honey mustard back. Yeah, I've really been loving kind of the unprocessedness of this diet and trying to get as unprocessed as possible with the food that we eat on the diet. So yes, I got my hair cut, feeling good, feeling spiffy with my new haircut. It's Feel Good Friday. I know I talked yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I talked a lot about non-scale victories and feeling good, but it was Friday. And the I figured I'd hop on. I don't normally go live on Fridays either. So if anybody has any questions or comments, or if there's anybody that doesn't normally catch me that's here, say hello. It's great to have you guys here. But one of the reasons I guess that I even put that up there was it's something I've been talking about, just feeling more comfortable in my skin, or just feeling like more of my body is showing through. Like, for my whole life, I've had this huge layer of fat on me that has kind of filled up every crevice and every nook. And some of the places where I've really noticed it the most, or where I first noticed it, was like the front of my hip bones. And like when I actually could feel bone, like it was like just skin then bone and there was no fat between that. And just having that feeling was crazy, you know. And then kind of with that feeling came a realization that there is a much thinner version of me within this body that I have right now. And from there, I kind of started noticing a lot more in my neck and like my collarbone, and then in like my shoulders, you know, like being able to feel the bones and kind of ligaments in my shoulders and things like that. And today, I kind of had a new one that was just goofy, that I ended up taking a photo of it on both of my legs here. But this is just a photo of my knee. And if you look at the photo just to the left of my kneecap, there's like a dimple there. And on the other side of that dimple, there is a tendon or a ligament. And for most people that are skinny, and here's on my right leg, it's kind of the same way, this kind of dimple and tendon. And for most people who are skinny or normal weight, that may seem like, you know, yeah, that's how my leg is all the time. But for me, it kind of surprised me that isn't just fat there, that there's actually a tendon. There was a tendon underneath all of that fat on my leg. And like I said, it was just kind of made me feel good that I'm losing this weight, and I'm getting to the point where I'm losing the weight in the crevices and the cracks of my body, which is awesome. Karen here says, I know you have likely mentioned before, but how do you cook your potatoes? Steam in the Instapot. You do have one, so that would be convenient. And how long? So yes, we do the potatoes in the Instapot. We have the Instapot. There's this little metal kind of tray or something that we put in the bottom of the Instapot so that it elevates the potatoes up like a half inch out of the bottom of the Instapot. But then we fill the very bottom of the Instapot with water. So there's like a half inch of water, and then the potatoes sit on top of this tray. You know, we put in quite a few potatoes, most of a bag of potatoes, or as many as we can. And then we cook it in the Instapot. Carrie actually answered here, between about 25 and 27 minutes. We always, at least I always kind of rinse the potatoes off before I put them in the Instapot, and then I stab them with a fork a few times to do that. So that's what, and Karen, it's a trivet. That's the name of the thing that I'm trying to, the little shelf that you put the potatoes on. Yes. So yeah, we just put that in there and then cook it. And then they cook for the 25 minutes. Sometimes we get to them right away. Sometimes it's an hour later. We just kind of leave it on warm. until we get to it. And that's how we end up cooking our potatoes. So yes, and with the skin on. Yep, we do cook them with the skin on, and eat them with the skin on as well. You need that fiber, and so that's how we cook the potatoes. But yes, so the feeling good in my body, feeling these bones and these muscles and these tendons that I didn't, I guess, realize were outside of the fat layer, like everything was just fat before. And maybe I knew it was there, but I didn't realize that there was so much fat there, that there was kind of that, there was that divot that got created from that. And then, and Carrie's telling Karen that we love the yellow gold potatoes the most. Yes, we do like those. And well, I really like the Hannah yams or the Jersey yams as well, but we don't have them as much. We have the yellow potatoes pretty much every single day, and don't really get sick of them. Glow here is asking, do you eat a lot of sweet potatoes or mostly gold? We eat mostly gold potatoes. Occasionally we'll make some sweet potatoes. Like I said, that was something that usually it's in a recipe when we use sweet potatoes. Like Carrie had made some taquitos. I think they might have been a Well Your World recipe, but there was some taquitos that she made that were sweet potatoes. And Carrie's saying, yes, mostly golden, but sometimes sweet potatoes are Hannah yams with a little drooling face, or I guess not drooling, but tongue out. Yes. I don't know what I'm doing on my phone. So that's what we mostly eat for our potatoes. A thing I was going to talk about, and I don't remember. I know Plants Only Muncher had recommended a book, and I can't remember who recommended the other book, but there were two books that were recommended to me yesterday. One was called Grain by Grain, and it's by Bob Quinn and Liz Carlisle, and the other one was Walking with Petey by Eric O'Gray. And so I went on to Audible yesterday to check out those books and see what they were about. And I ended up not having a credit right now. So Carrie must have bought a book recently, because we get like an Audible credit every month. But I didn't have a credit, but I did look up the books and I listened to the kind of the previews for them. The Walking with Petey. It sounds like a cool book. It's about a guy and his dog and how his dog saved his life. And I put it on my wish list. But the Grain by Grain, by Bob Quinn and Liz Carlisle, that book, was free. I didn't have to buy it. And so I started listening to that book right now, and I am kind of into it. Carrie's not going to be a huge fan of if I get real into the book, but the story, the guy's history, his experience with grain and the wheat industry, I'm very interested to hear more about. I'm probably only a half hour to an hour into the book right now, but so far I've really enjoyed it. And it's talking a lot about how our food system has been set up to remove the nutrition from our food, essentially, and to create the cheapest product possible. And by creating the cheapest product possible, we're also then feeding the population the least quality product that we could be feeding the population. And so he's kind of, I think, going into how this happened and the cycle that's been created by the food system that we have, and how a lot of the food that we eat now is not as nutritious as maybe the food we used to eat. And I know it's going to go pretty deep into the use of like organic farming, or eating more organic and avoiding pesticides and herbicides um, and you know, the cost of, like, and like I said, I'm just getting into the book, so I don't know where it's going to go, but some of kind of what I'm getting at from it is that, it may be more expensive to eat foods that are organic, but if the non-organic food is causing you harm in some way, is it is it worth the difference in price, I guess? And so, but like I said, I'm enjoying the book so far. It was free with our Audible account. It might be some kind of whatever level of Audible that we have. Carrie manages that. So, but I decided to start listening to that, and it's about an 8-hour book. So I'm going to check that out and see what he has to say. And then I'll probably pick up that Walking with Petey by Eric O'Gray, and check out what that's about. Because I think Plants Only Muncher was the one that recommended that. Said the guy had lost like 140 or 150 pounds eating a plant-based diet, which I would love to hear about people that have done that. So let's see here. Jay says, you got to make a sweet potato trip. Hannah sweet potatoes, Japanese, or Bata and purple sweet potatoes, orange yams. You always keep them well stocked. It's so satisfying. Yeah, and Carrie actually responded, we do have some of the purple ones in our potato drawer, but not sure what to do with them yet. And Jay says, you just throw them in the air fryer and they taste like chocolate brownies. Well, that's a bold claim. We'll have to check that out and see if out of the air fryer they taste like chocolate brownies. How, just curious temperature and time on that, Jay. What do you cook them at in the air fryer? We don't cook our potatoes much in the air fryer. That was our intention when we first started this, was to, I was going to replace all the French fries that I used to eat with air fried potatoes, but we just never really got into eating the potatoes that way. And just kind of been eating them the way we do. But let me see here. So some of the other feel-good stuff that Jay here says, for the air fried, you do 20 minutes for skinny, small purple potatoes at 400 degrees. Awesome. We'll have to check that out. Feeling good. There was something that I was doing the other day where I had to run, and it's kind of been a thing I've been toying with here a lot in the last couple months. I know when we went down to Fairfield, we went to a vegan festival down in Fairfield. It's a couple hours away from us. And at one point I had stayed back to do some things at one of the places where they had things set up. And I had to catch up to the family, and they were like 2 blocks ahead of me. And I kind of jogged the 2 blocks to get over to them. And then it's killing me, but it was just the other day I ran. Oh, we were doing flags. That's what it was. So for my kids' Boy Scout troop, they have a fundraiser where for a few of the holidays throughout the year, they go through the town, and anybody who has signed up, they put flags up in their front yard. It's kind of neat. Some of the neighborhoods, there's like all of the houses have flags. And so when you're driving down, it's kind of lined with these flags during the holidays. And this past Wednesday, we were putting flags out for Flag Day. It's the holiday, it was Flag Day. And we had missed a flag that was like a block and a half away from where we were at. And instead of having the truck turn around to go back to where the flag was, I was just like, well, I'll just go get the flag and I'll come and catch up with you guys. And I kind of jogged the distance from the back of the truck to where the flag was. And just kind of that difference in being 260 pounds. Like it's been 25 years since I was this weight. And when I was this weight, I don't remember it feeling this easy to jog around. And I was 17 at the time. And it seemed like it was hard for me to run at that time. And now I've spent the 25 years just getting heavier and heavier and trying to manage my weight through working out. The number of times where, okay, I'm going to start this diet and I'm going to go to the gym, or, you have that gym membership and you go and you run on the elliptical for a half hour, or you get on the treadmill and you do something. And you try to do that cardio stuff or anything active, just even the lifting. And it would just wear me out. And even just a small jog, like at 500 pounds, trying to run at any distance, or even when I was doing workouts and when I was 400 pounds, like the jogging was so difficult for me. The trauma that I must have been putting my body through. Like I don't even think I could stand up with that weight on me again. Like I don't know how I was moving around at 520 pounds. And then if I was doing anything to be a little bit active, and then when I think about the training I did with the triathlon, even after I lost the weight, I was 340 pounds doing runs. And that's what killed me on the triathlon. I got times for all of the different legs of the triathlon that I did. And I was the last one to finish the entire triathlon, but I was not the slowest swimmer. I was not the slowest bike rider. It was the 5K run that was the hardest for me. And I was dead last at the 5K, and that ended up causing me to be dead last overall. But the difficulty, and the whole time I was training to do that 5K, my goal with training was to just complete the distance. And it didn't matter if I ran it or walked it or what I did. I just needed to be able to go that 5K distance. And every time I did it, I would do the 5K. I think I even did one training day where I did a 10K, and that really zapped me. And the whole time I can remember being like, okay, I'm just going to try to run 20 yards, just try to run 30 yards. And now it's so much easier, and it's going to get even easier when I get down to 220 pounds. And I knew, I guess, that there'd be a difference, but I just don't know that I realized how much difference it was. I think I felt like there was this, anybody who runs gets, or at least for me, any amount of running would tire me out, would expend all my energy. And that's not the case. And that's not the case for most people that are at a healthy weight. But being at a healthy weight has just been such a foreign concept to me that it didn't really occur to me that it would be easier to do that. Let's see. Karen's asking here if anybody knows how long to bake an Asian Japanese potato. Let me see. And Carrie says she might be trying this right now. We'll check back on Monday. And Karen says she's curious about the purple potatoes. Then she says, you think it's so awesome. You can only imagine that great feeling. Yeah, it really is crazy to be, um, to have that kind of realization, I guess. That's what's and, I've seen stories. I read the book, How to Run, about these people that just run crazy distances. And the only way that they would be able to run that crazy distances is if running a mile isn't that difficult for them, or running a 5K is not that difficult. But we have it in our heads that that's kind of I feel like that it's that 5K distance has become some sort of athletic, I don't know, like, like there's the couch to 5K, or there's lots of 5K events out there that people use that 5K to kickstart their diet, or they use that 5K to motivate them to get in shape. Uh, and and if you ask somebody who's not in the condition to run, or in any position to run a 5K, it seems like such a crazy distance. And so I suppose to most of those people, running a mile would be a crazy distance. But it shouldn't be difficult for you to run a mile, or for you to do a 5K. I think that it's something where we've lowered our expectations of ourselves. And maybe it's because we don't need to do those distances for any reason now. I think in our history, we probably walked and traveled and were much more nomadic than we are now. And so then to get a workout, we picked an arbitrary distance of like a mile, or like a 5K, and said that's the distance you should move or work out. Let's see. Carrie says that she bought those purple potatoes to make ice cream in the creamy, but the recipe called for cashews. And we just haven't been holding on to them, she said. The recipe needed cashews, so we just have been holding on to them since we got them. Jay says, yeah, the big purple ones are more starchy, but the small skinny ones are very moist and taste like double chocolate fudge brownies. You could wrap them in tin foil to get them the most moist. Sounds good. I'm not sure if the ones we have are the skinny ones. They seemed like they were pretty large, but I'm not sure. Matthew here says that you were 480 pounds in 1991. Today you weigh 262 pounds. That's almost 220 pounds. That's awesome. 218 pounds is what you've lost. It's well over 30 years ago that you were, the last time you were 218 pounds. That's awesome. Whole food, plant-based, no salt, oil, sugar is the answer. Love this forum. So proud of you. Matt, that is amazing. I am so happy to hear that you have found this way of eating, and that it is it's something that you're getting, like I would love for people to try this diet and stick to it. You got to stick to it and see those results over time. And even if I didn't lose another pound, even if I hadn't lost any weight and I felt as healthy as I feel now, but like the feeling internally of the cleanliness of my diet and the unprocessedness of my diet is amazing. And having the 260 pounds off, or 255 pounds off, is wild. But the health feeling of it is something that I'm sure you're feeling too, if you've lost the weight. And what helps me realize how healthful this is, something that I maybe don't talk about enough, but is that I've had issues with this diet and staying compliant. Through the second year of this diet, I think I was, in the past, every time I'd done a diet, It was always, you're going to eat one way, and then when you get to your goal weight, you're going to eat differently. And I think that I kind of held on to that notion while I was doing this diet, that, I would eat whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar free until I get to my goal weight. But then maybe after that point, I'll start eating some of these foods that have salt, oil, sugar. And I really think that that's what kind of happened to me during that second year. Is there was this subconsciousness that I was still going to be changing my diet completely, but it wasn't going to be as drastic as I did. And I didn't know if I was going to like those foods, because the one I always think of it as there's kind of a couple lines I cross when I eat this diet. The whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar free is the gold standard of what that's the top, that's the diet that I follow. That is I don't want to say most restricted, but that's kind of what I'm saying, is that it's the strictest version of my diet. And it's still there's still a lot of variety to it. So I hate using the word strictness, because I eat much more food and much more variety of food eating this way than I ever ate before. But the other kind of lines I crossed was eating a plant-based diet, and not having those plant-based foods that have the salt, oil, and sugar, which you find at restaurants, or you might, it's easier to make that happen with the products you buy at the grocery store, I guess, because they're going to have those oils, salts, and sugars added to them. And then kind of the one line that I crossed that I've never gone back over, and I don't ever intend to go back over, is the vegan, the not eating any animal products or any eggs or dairy or anything like that. And so during the second year, this is going somewhere, I think that I was worried that I was going to get to my goal weight and that I wasn't going to like those products when I got there. And I was going to be, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what I was thinking. But what I had to realize, or what I had to learn going through that second year, was that the diet that I'm eating now is the diet that I'm going to eat the rest of my life. It's not a diet that I'm going to eat until October 31st. It's not a diet that I'm going to eat until I get to my goal weight. It's not a diet that I'm going to eat for the next year. The diet that I'm going to eat forever. If I live another 40 years, I'm going to eat this diet for 14,000 days is my intention. And, so I had to realize that. And what helped me to realize that it's worth doing, or it's the thing I should do, is that 3 to 5 days after I recommitted to the diet, every single time I felt better. I felt a difference after being clean for 3 to 5 days. And it was something that when I was eating that junk food, I didn't notice that it was making me feel worse. It wasn't until I recommitted to the diet and was on it for a few days that I realized that I wasn't at what I should have been. My standard, whatever level of mood I was at, was hampered by the processedness of the salt, oil, sugar I had, and things like that. And so, yes, I'm so happy for you, Matt, and I hope you're feeling amazing. It sounds like you're feeling amazing on this diet. There's lots of congratulations in here. Matt says you ain't seen nothing yet. Absolutely. You bet. Knock that out. We're about the same weight now as what was it? 262. Oh man, we're gonna have to race to the goal here. That's awesome. Way to go, Matt. Um, Karen here says, I appreciate that you plan on staying eating with the vegans. The animals appreciate it too. Yes. That is definitely a transition that was not in the cards when I started this diet. Something that I kind of share is when I started this diet, I started with a water fast, and I didn't know how I was going to eat. And while I was water fasting, I ordered a bunch of beef and cow, whatever. Um, because I was going to eat like really clean cuts of meat when I got done with my fast. And then I switched to this way of eating, and uh, that meat just sat in our freezer for months. And, and so, but yeah, I definitely switched this way of eating for my health. And then after eating this way for 4 to 5 months, I really, I started to realize, that you don't have to have meat to survive. I saw so many great examples of people that had been living their whole lives without meat. And then I watched some of the documentaries that yeah, the Dominion documentary, that one's pretty rough. There's one, I think, Dairy is Scary. There's some pretty graphic documentaries out there if you need to be reinforced in why we shouldn't be doing what we're doing to the animals. And so, yeah, those definitely influenced my decisions. And then we've slowly been trying to be more vegan in our lives. We choose not to buy vegan, animal, products that have animal, leather and things like that when we can. We actually switched our family, our kids eat a vegan diet, our dog eats a vegan diet, so it's been pretty good. Karen says it's heartwarming in this day and age when you ditch the animals. Yeah, it's really crazy, and there's a lot of stuff that I see out there about people going the opposite direction of what I did and eating all animals. And um I think of all the grease and the oil and the fat and just like the difference. Like we cooked something that had, what did we have? We had impossible meat that we had cooked that we ended up giving away the second thing of it because it was just so greasy, and it was just all over our kitchen and it was splattering everywhere. And I just can't imagine eating a diet that's filled with that. Let's see here. Jay here says, just follow what Chef AJ does and eats. She'll get you there. Even Chef AJ doesn't eat breakfast. She eats lots and lots of sweet potatoes for lunch and sometimes dinner. They are so satisfying. Yes. Karen already said that. Matt here says, beat you to 200. You want to be 180. That'll be 300 pounds off. Sound familiar? Heck yeah, you bet, Matt. But yeah, it is not a race. It isn't, and that's something that I kind of mentioned it with it, that I'm doing this for the next 40 years. I'm doing this for the next 50 years, however long I get to do it. I'm doing it for that long. And that's 14,000 to 15,000 days. And it's, what's an extra 20 to 60 days out of 14,000 if you're already that close. Carrie says, yes, it was Impossible vegan sausage. She got it on sale, made some for the kids. It was gross. And I'm pretty sure we gave away some of it. I don't even know who we gave it to, but yeah, it was something where we don't have oil in our house. We don't cook with oil for our kids, really. Like some of the stuff they get might have oil in it, but we haven't put oil in a pan for probably for a long time. And so Jay says you now have clean baby arteries. Yes. I hope I have clean baby arteries with how we eat. Um, Carrie says that we gifted it to the other vegan family in town. There's one other vegan family in our whole town, and we gifted it to them. So yeah, that's awesome. Um, oh, what was I talking about? Well, Matt, 300 pounds. That's awesome. Yes, get down to um. That's so cool. And how long? I just curious how long you've been doing the salt, oil, sugar, whole food, plant based, Matt. Curious. But it feels good. It feels amazing to eat this way. That was what I was talking about. Was how every time I would eat junk food, the food would give me that dopamine spike, and you'd feel good while you were eating it. But it was the in between the meals where um, I wasn't feeling as good. And once I got it out, it feels great to have it out of your system. And so, um, and yeah, the running, the moving around. Um, Karen says same. They got a small town there in New Hampshire. And it says there's only a handful of vegans. Yeah. We actually have a thing tomorrow. Our the local, what is it, Plant Pure Nation pod is doing a meetup tomorrow that we are going to try to go out and go to that meetup tomorrow if we're able to. And that's nice to be able to meet some other people that are eating this way. They were very excited to see us show up with some kids and to be, trying to get our kids to eat more whole food, plant-based. Our kids will probably grow up thinking that they had lived a pretty sheltered life with all the food that we give them now. So Matt, you've been doing 4 years that you've been whole food, plant-based. You've been 13 years vegetarian with relapses. Yes, well, we've all had the relapses over the years with the different things we've done. So, yeah, that's awesome though that you've been doing it for 4 years, and I think that's what's great too. And I'm sure that some of you guys have been doing it for that long or longer. Something that prior to starting this diet, I never would have thought that this was a sustainable way to eat. It's something that the world and the media and everything you see pushes that protein idea, the idea that you have to get protein. And I was so, I don't know, maybe I was so brainwashed by it. Like, I thought I had to get multiple sources of protein. I would go to a fast food restaurant, and if I could get a hamburger and a chicken sandwich, I'd get both, because I thought it was better to have both forms of protein than to have no protein at all. You can't just eat vegetables and not have protein. And so if somebody told me that they knew somebody who was vegan or brought up eating, honestly, I don't know that I really even knew what a plant-based diet was until right before I started eating a plant-based diet, because I kind of always assumed that kind of vegan and plant-based was the same thing. And they're kind of not, even though it's like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square, kind of thing. But I always thought it was a fad that people just kind of went through, like that a teenage kid would go through, or a college kids, that guy's that person's a vegan. Oh, okay. Well, that's just for now, until they have to eat meat again. And so the idea that you could live your whole life and you could have these doctors out there that have been eating this way for 30, 40, 50, 70 years. And not just doctors, but people, not, just people out there that is what they've eaten their whole life. And I'm jealous of them, because they've gotten to feel this good their whole life. And maybe that's why they're not sharing it with the world, is because, no, I think there's plenty of them sharing it with the world. But if I really believe if people could feel as good as I feel, at least in comparison to how I felt, I think that everybody would try this diet. It's amazing. Just there's every aspect of my life is better because I've lost this weight. The only thing I can't even think of anything as a joke that was better when I was 520 pounds than I am right now. You know, it's just crazy, you know. The only thing that was better was maybe my relationship with the fast food drivers. Now they probably miss me. And some of them probably got fired because they weren't making enough money at the restaurant anymore now that I wasn't coming and dropping $15 every time I was grabbing fast food. And it got to a pretty bad point. But let's see. Trying to think of what else I had for today. It's Friday. I should probably get out of here at this point and go do family things. Like I said, I'm going to try to get out this weekend on the kayak. Maybe I'll get the camera out and video some of that. We're going to try to go to the Plant Pure Nation podcast. What is it? Plant Pure podcast? I'm not sure what it is. But we're going to try to go to our local meetup this weekend. We got Father's Day this weekend. I know Father's Day or any of these get-togethers, they can be difficult. I talked a lot about that this past week. We had a family reunion this past weekend, and now we got Father's Day this weekend. Seems like there's always a reason to celebrate, and it's become pretty standard for us to celebrate with food. So do your best to avoid the food. Do your best to be a good example for those people that might be watching you, that are noticing that you're losing weight. Don't let them catch you slipping. You gotta stay on your diet because they might be influenced by you. And if they see you've lost 100 pounds, but they also see you grabbing brownies, they're going to think that you can eat brownies and lose 100 pounds. And that doesn't happen for people. So Carrie says the Plant Pure Nation pod meeting. Yes. And Carrie's excited because it's at a park, so our kids can run wild while they're doing some things. Yes, last time it was in a building and they were doing a presentation, and our kids did not do well with being seated still, so we kind of let them run around in the neighboring room. And so it wasn't so bad. Jay here says, you always carry your sweet potatoes in the car with you. You got to have it. What is it? You got to pimp your potatoes. Potato in my purse is what Chef AJ says. But yeah, you got to have those pocket potatoes. Carrie says, we don't need brownies. We have purple potatoes and they are smelling good. So she's going to have some of that at home for me. When I get home, I got a whole list of things I got to do before I can go home. So I guess I should get out of here and do that. Karen says, appreciate your time and being able to participate today. Yeah, no problem. I felt like I owed you guys since I didn't go live on Wednesday. I only did 3 live streams this week instead of the 4 I normally do. So I thought I'd pop on for a little bit today. So no worries. And so, yes, I am going to get out of here. If you have not hit the like button, hit that like button on this video. Let's get a thumbs up going. If you've not subscribed to the channel, make sure you do get subscribed to the channel. Click on that bell icon so you get alerted when I go live and post new videos. A few people checking in saying happy Father's Day. Thanks, Jay, pretty girl's mom. Yes, I'm excited about Father's Day. If you haven't hit that bell icon, hit the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. And if you have not started your diet yet, Get started right now. There is nothing coming up that is more important than your health or your overall well-being. There is nobody that reaches their goals that looks back and says, I wish I would have waited. And if you are waiting till Monday, if that's, oh, I'm going to wait till after Father's Day, Monday's the day. Don't get started right now. What are you going to do next year when Father's Day comes around? Are you going to skip out on your diet, or what happens when the next holiday comes around that's bigger than Father's Day? You're just going to skip out of your diet, or are you going to learn how to get through these events and stay on your diet? So get started now. There's no reason to wait. You guys all have a wonderful weekend. We will see you on Monday.